Welcome back. I am super excited to speak to you today about something that's a little interesting in today's world. We're living in a world where everything is about making everything bigger, faster, more efficient. So much pressure on everyone and everything to perform, to make more money, to get more influence, to gain more power and whatever. Oftentimes when we are trying to fit into this lifestyle that really isn't ours, it makes it difficult to manage your personal well-being. And so one of the major crux here of what we teach here at Beyond Hypnosis is all about learning how to use your powerful mind appropriately so that it serves you rather than it destroying you. And serving you is the way in which it benefits you. It helps you to navigate. One of the best things that we can do, since we cannot control what the world does, we can definitely control how we perceive what's happening. And yes, the fact is that things are crazy. However, you get to shift your perception about things and what they mean to you with the appropriate use of your mind. By shifting your perceptions, by, first of all, remembering that things don't last forever. And certainly the things that are not sustainable for life, things that are not beneficial or cooperative, or coming from a place of love and compassion, just are not sustainable. So you got to know they're going to have their cycle and they are going to come to an end. And the recognition that this is not forever can relieve some stress. But in the midst of it, while you're experiencing it, you can shift your perception around it by not having unrealistic expectations of things. When we have unrealistic expectations of things, it becomes very, very nerve-wracking and very painful and stressful because we are pushing against something. And generally, when we push against things, they generally push back, do they not? And so we can begin by moving into a more cooperative flow attitude. And this is an attitude of recognizing the thing, really understanding the nature of it. And this can apply to anything that we deal with in our environment, whether it's another person, it's a system, it is a group of people, it's some other thing in the environment that impacts us. And if you really think about it, everything in your environment impacts you, and you have an impact on everything in your environment. And so the important thing is to recognize that you must understand the things that are impacting you. Understand their nature. Understand their motivation. Because everything in this universe, multiverse, is really trying to survive. It's trying to continue to exist, right? And so when you can look at that from that standpoint, that everything else in this system of things, the people, the systems in place, the animals, even the microbes, they're all trying to survive. And so everything's got a positive intention in back of what it's doing. It's trying to continue to exist. And when things feel like their existence is in jeopardy, that is when trouble begins to ensue. That's when oftentimes fear takes hold. And we can see it in people. We can see it on the world stage in history. When a group of people felt that they were being threatened, that their very existence was being threatened because they felt they didn't have enough resources. Or they saw someone else have, but they wanted to have more in order to remain in power or to have control over a larger area, more resources, whatever. And so they felt that they needed to go and conquer others and take over their resources. And so when you look at this type of consciousness that's really rooted in fear, and you know exactly what it is, you know where it's coming from, you know that it doesn't have anything to do with you, so you don't have to take it personal. You can just know that this group, this entity, this microbe is trying to survive. And when you can look at a thing for what it really is, square in its face, then you can step away from the emotions that are pretty much useless. The fear, the anger, the resentment, the desire of revenge, the hatred, all of these negative emotions are all going to backfire on you. And so when you can look at a thing squarely and know exactly what it is, not having any expectations that are unrealistic about it, then you can deal with it from a place of power, from a place of intelligence, not a place of fear. You see, when we're in fear, we become less intelligent. We make poor decisions. We can fall into traps quite easily because of the fear. And then soon, oftentimes, we become the thing that we fear, that we hate. And so when you want to manage the way that you think about something, stepping away from fear and looking it square in the face for exactly what it is, understanding its motivations, understanding its game plan, understanding what its end game or end result and desire is, then you can operate from a place of wisdom, no longer being ensnared in traps. And you can also begin from that place a firmly grounded wisdom. Begin to operate your mind power in a way that will move mountains for you. You are able to stand your ground on a spiritual level and allow that Christ consciousness to rise in you. The one that's fearless, the one that knows its origin, the one that knows that when I use my mind power appropriately, and I use these universal laws appropriately, I will be out of danger. That when the ish hits the fan, I will not be in the vicinity. Because my mind is not clouded with fear, with resentment, with hatred, with revenge. My mind is clear. The static is cleared from the line, and I can hear very well. And I will know which way to turn, where to go. And I will not be in the midst of the danger. There's wisdom in really studying your so-called enemy. Even in The Art of War, that ancient Chinese book, it brings the understanding that you got to understand who you're dealing with here. Know their motivations, know what they want, understand them. And then you know how to deal with them. But the main thing here, baby, is that you know how to deal with yourself. Knowing yourself is going to give you all the power that you need to maneuver any challenge in this world. And we know that those scriptures give us the outline of how to follow the code that was given. We were given a play-by-play book on how to stay protected, to survive, to thrive, to flourish. So if we keep the code, we pay attention to, of course, we dodge the hijacks in the translations of translations and the political poetry that was placed in and all this stuff. We keep the code and we stay aware and keep watch with no fear. We will always be in the right place at the right time by keeping the vision of being in safety, of being satisfied, protected, of having all needs met, and being fully grateful for that in every moment. That is what keeps you in the right place at the right time. By keeping the law. What a beautiful gift we were given so long ago. So the key here is to be aware, to control and manage your emotions, to hold the vision of your desired outcome, and make sure that desired outcome is not infringing on the rights of anyone else. Seeing the higher good and trusting that it is your divine right and purpose for being on the planet. But walk and live as if you are there. Remember Mr. Magoo? Everything was falling all around Mr. Magoo. He's walking and stuff's falling, cement blocks, and he can't even see. But he's rightly guided by the vision he's holding in his mind. And he dodges, and he doesn't even effortlessly have to dodge anything. He just walks along effortlessly. And all these dangerous things miss him because he's not there. He might be in it, but he ain't of it. And so he's not affected by it. He's just walking along in his vision, his truth. And he's holding fast. He's happy, he's singing, he's whistling even. Yes. Keep that in mind, Mr. Magoo. Well, I thank you so much today for listening to this rant, but it was a download that I felt I had to share today. Those unrealistic expectations of looking at things as unfair and things are wrong and somebody's doing something to you and you're a victim. If that is what you believe, that is what you're going to continue to experience more of. So look things straight in the eye, realistically, knowing exactly what they are, know what their intention is, but keep hold of your truth, of what you truly desire to express and experience in the world. And that is what you experience. And that is the law. And so it is. And so I thank you for watching and listening. This is Tamara Taggart of Beyond Hypnosis. Until next time. In health, wisdom, and power.